Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start this lesson off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to your apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are still fervently pushing the word in sincerity and in faith. And Shalom to all the sincere believers. Now this lesson, as you can see from the headline, is going to be based on at least 24 dead in South Korea's worst ever fires. So through the Spirit, I'm going to read this article, get some precepts, and Lord's will, you're edified. It says at least 24 people have been killed as multiple wildfires continue to ravage South Korea's southeast region. Most of the victims are in their 60s and 70s, authorities say, adding that some 26 people are injured with 12 in critical condition. More than 23,000 people have been forced to flee their homes. The unprecedented crisis is rewriting the record books for the worst wildfires in our nation's history, acting President Han Duck-seo has said. The fires gutted a 1,300-year-old temple in Song City, where many cultural relics were removed and transported to safer ground. The fire started in Sancheong County on Friday and later spread to Song County. Fueled by strong and dry winds, they spread to the neighboring counties. On Tuesday, the National Fire Agency raised the crisis to the highest fire response level. On Wednesday, a firefighting helicopter crashed in the mountains, killing the pilot. Thousands of firefighters and about 5,000 military personnel have been deployed to contain the flames, as well as helicopters from the U.S. military stationed in Korea. So it was like the apocalypse. Wildfires are relatively uncommon in South Korea. The current fires are already the deadliest in its history. About 42,000 acres of forest have already been destroyed, making the fires the third largest in South Korea's history in terms of area. One resident of a village in Andong told BBC Korean, "Our house has completely burned down. It was almost completely collapsed." Elsewhere in Andong, people sheltering at an elementary school were told to leave quickly as the fire was spread by gusty winds. A 30-year-old man living in Song said both the upstairs and next door houses were burned down. Said this area is full of grandparents. They have lived here their whole lives, and when their houses burned down, they have nowhere to go. So in the city of the fire destroyed the Gonsa Temple, one of the largest temples in the province, built in 618 AD. A 68-year-old monk said he was devastated when he heard that about the destruction of the temple. So we will do our best to restore the function of the temple, he told AFP news agency. A Buddhist architectural structure deemed a national treasure from the Joseon dynasty was also destroyed, forestry authorities confirmed. In Andong, truck driver Lee Seong-ju said he saw the mountains burn as he drove by. It was like the apocalypse, the 39-year-old said, according to AFP. Yeah, so, hey, just like the men of the Lord have been saying, the judgments of the Heavenly Father are intensifying upon the earth. And these fires are definitely part of that. As acting President Han said strong winds were still hampering firefighting and rescue efforts. So we were desperately hoping for rain today or tomorrow to help extinguish the flames. Says no rain was forecast for the region on Wednesday, and only a small amount, 5 to 10 millimeters, expected on Thursday, according to the Korean Meteorological Administration. Says South Korea has been experiencing drier than normal conditions with less rainfall than average. There have already been 244 wildfires this year, 2.4 times more than the same period last year. The government also promised to strengthen enforcement against illegal burning, one of the main causes of wildfires, and crack down on individual carelessness. But see, this is how you know that the Heavenly Father wants these fires to burn longer, because He's not allowing there to be rain when these wildfires hit, which, makes it more difficult to fight these fires. You have all these fires burning. You have these firefighters who are stretched too thin trying to fight them. Having some rain would really help. But the Heavenly Father, He wants there to be destruction upon these wicked kingdoms. So the Lord doesn't send any help to these people in the form of rain. Ecclesiasticus 39:28, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Verse 29, fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. And that's right, these wildfires were created for vengeance. They were created to destroy, to wound, and to kill. And that's exactly what they do. They destroy homes, businesses, land. People get burned, people get killed. And all of this is the vengeance and the judgment of the Heavenly Father Yahweh. Isaiah 29:6, thou shalt be visited of the Lord Yahweh of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire. And that's what these wildfires are. These wildfires are flames of devouring fire. They destroy whatever they come in contact with. And these fires are happening more frequently, and they are getting more intense. And places where wildfires are usually uncommon, they're starting to become more common, which in itself is a sign of the times. Like it says in 2 Timothy 3:1, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. And when you look up the definition of perilous, it means full of danger or risk. And we are living in some increasingly dangerous times with these fires, these storms and tempests, these earthquakes, the wars that are popping off, and many, many other signs. Psalm 79:6, pour out thy wrath upon the heathen that have not known thee, and upon the kingdoms that have not called upon thy name. And that's exactly what the Heavenly Father is doing. In the form of wars, volcano eruptions, fires, storms, tempests, earthquakes, power outages. He is pouring out his wrath upon these heathens and upon these wicked kingdoms. And he's not going to stop. it's just going to get worse and worse and more destructive and more deadly. Psalms 9 and 16, the Lord Yahweh is known by the judgment which he executeth. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. Hegion Selah. Yeah. So these wildfires are not an act of Mother Nature or some random person's carelessness when burning something. This is the judgment of the Lord. The Lord is using, in particular in regards to this article, these fires to bring judgment. Deuteronomy 32:39. See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no power with me. I kill and I make alive, I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. And through his judgments, through his spirits that are created for vengeance, the Heavenly Father is daily wounding and killing wicked people. People who have angered him. People who are, in his eyes, worthy and deserving of these sore strokes. And like I said before, there's going to be a lot of more death and destruction and chaos and misery and mourning and weeping that is going to be taking place in these last days. The Lord is not slowing down these judgments. He's only speeding them up and intensifying them. Like it says in Luke 21:22, for these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. And the Lord sending flames of devouring fire is something that's written, and it's clearly being fulfilled in these times. And like it says in Hebrews 10 and 31, it is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. And people are experiencing that in multiple forms every day. They're experiencing the judgment and the wrath and the vengeance of the Heavenly Father. This world is being visited by the Lord. And more people are going to be forced to acknowledge that. They're going to be forced to acknowledge the fact that the men of the Lord have been telling them the truth the whole time, have been warning them the whole time. Like it says in Ezekiel 33 and 33, and when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet have been among them. So all the people who've been scoffing and scorning at the men of the Lord, they're going to regret that. They're already starting to regret that. And the men of the Lord are just continuing to do what they've been doing, which is prophesying through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. See, the truth will always be revealed. All we have to do is keep pushing the word in truth and in sincerity, and the Lord will reveal whatever he wants in its due time. Yeah. But these type of things, these fires, it's going to get worse. It's going to get more intense. They're going to get more deadly. They're going to pop up in more places, especially as we start entering the warmer months. Going to be more heat, less rain, more destruction, and death. Just another sign of the last days. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up here. In closing, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. The Wadi Yahabashim Yahushai for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are fervently pushing the word in sincerity and in faith. And shalom to all the sincere believers. Hope you stay strong, stay safe, stay fervent, stay circumspect, stay prayed up, and Ottawa and Ratazah. Till next time, shalom.